All right, Shalom. This is Hara 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Ha Rakah Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. Let's see if we can get through this lesson without any interruptions. This is 2nd Edras, chapter 5, verse, I'm going to start from verse 2, all right? This is something I was continuing from this weekend, last Saturday at camp, okay? But this is 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 2. It's speaking about the downfall of this place known as Babylon in the scriptures, also known as America, all right? But this destruction is going to be a process, a combination of the Lord sending out his wrath against this place. You know, you're going to have an economic collapse, civil war, which we're seeing the beginnings of that now, the beginning of sorrows, famines, right? Plagues, invasions, right? Terrorist attacks, and then eventually the missiles hitting this place, man. All right? Total governmental dominance over the people, which America was built off of the people having dominance over the government. But now we're seeing it change. According to Revelation 13, he's going to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the charagma. Through what? Control. All right? In the times of the two horns, Democratic and Republican parties going against each other. Satan being divided against Satan. And we know if Satan, any kingdom divided against itself, it cannot stand. But it has an end. The end is coming. All right? And we're in the times of the end of this place. Elder Apostle Tahar, he coined this year, 2024, the year of the hopeful Jacob's trouble. The hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And now you're hearing all the media heads talking about it. This is the year. This is the year all you preppers been waiting for. You've been prepping for this year right here. This is the year. Whether Trump becomes president or Biden, you know, it doesn't matter. If they put Tamala, whatever her name is, Kamala Anderson, or Biden's, Obama's wife, Michael, whoever they put in office, that civil war is at the door. All right. So, let's start from 5. 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 2. It says, but iniquity shall be increased above that which thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. All right. Matter of fact, let me start off with this too. All right, I'm gonna read that again. But iniquity shall be increased above that which thou seest now, talking to Edras, or that thou hast heard long ago. And the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. And that's spiritual, meaning the land that you're walking upon. At that time, Edras was walking amongst the Persians in Babylon. Now, today, Edras knew he was going to be back here. Let me get that real quick. All right, in the land that so Ezra must be here in America, according to the prophecies. Let me get that real quick. Because today, Ezra is walking upon the land of Babylon, according to the scriptures. It says here, 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, and beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. All right, why are the powers going to stand in fear? Because these nations like Russia, China, and all these other nations like Persia, you know, the Iranians, they're going to be coming against this place, America, Babylon. So the powers are going to stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? See? All right, so Ezra knew he was going to be back here on this earth because he was having visions, and the angel was sent to show him the tokens of what's to come. All right, showing him the prophecies, and one of these prophecies was the third trumpet, the third angel, spoken of in Revelation chapter 8. So the angel Uriel was breaking Revelation chapter 8 down to Ezra's. All right, but let's get this real quick. This is 2nd Ezra's 4 and 51. Then I prayed and said, let's go to 47. It says, and he said unto me, stand upon thy right side, and I shall expound the similitude unto you. So I stood and saw, and behold, an hot burning oven passed by before me. And it happened that when the flame was gone by, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained still. All right, so just like the prophecies of us going into slavery or coming out of Egypt. All right, and there's going to be an interruption. Let me pause this. All right, so the same way when we came out of Egypt, the same way when we went into Babylon, there was still some prophecies left over that had to happen. All right, there was still residue of the wicked left amongst our nation. Now, it says, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained still. All right, just like you have the residue that's left over from the smoke after you see the hot burning oven or the situation that we're in. And then there's still left a little bit of residue, meaning we still have some more to go through. After this, there passed by before me a watery cloud, and sent down much rain with a storm. And when the stormy rain was past, the drops remained still. See that? So we still have more prophecies to go. But it's not going to be as you know, how can I say it? You know, we all went into slavery, but now the Lord is going to save a remnant from among our people. So the major prophecies have happened ever since the time of Moses. You know, and us going into Babylon, and then all the way up until Persia, and then the Greeks, and then Yahushua. You know, us having a falling away first, 70 AD, going into slavery, and this is the rest of it right here with the residue, the last few prophecies. So the angel Uriel was sent to show Edras over the process of time that there was still more to go through of those prophecies. All right. But during his time, the major part had already passed, us being taken into Babylon. All right, then said he unto me, consider with thyself, as the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke, but the drops and the smoke remain behind. So the quantity which is past did more exceed, all right? So we still have more prophecies to go through. Then I prayed and said, may I live, thinkest thou, until that time? No, Edras had to be what? Reincarnated. He couldn't live from all the way back then. I think it was what, 452 BC, around the time he was an elder. He was around during the time of Daniel, all right, the prophet Ezra. Now, he was asking, can he live until all the way up until today? And that wasn't possible because the Lord didn't make it that way. He made it for us to die in certain ages, and our spirit goes to the Father, and he sends us back down here according to Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, and appoints us as his spokesman to the world. All right? He says, thinkest thou until that time? Or what shall happen in those days? All right? It says, he answered me and said, as for the tokens or the signs or prophecies, whereof thou askest me, I may tell thee of them in part. See? So the angel was telling Esdras about the prophecies, everything that's happening now, but he was telling them to him in part. All right? Just like us today, it says that. Let's get that. Let's get that real quick. This is 1 Corinthians 13 and 9. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. See that? So we got part of this of the prophecies and the understanding. You know, that's why it says, no man knoweth the day or the hour. Meaning we got a glimpse of what's going to happen. That's why we'll say things like, there's going to be a civil war. Because the scripture says Satan's going to be divided against Satan. Do we know how it's going to happen? You can get a glimpse of it. 2nd Ezra 15, you know, people riding up against each other, sedition, invading one another, troops. But then you start to hear about the migrants coming in. Then you hear about the Texas border, you know, so you start to see it manifesting in different ways than what we could imagine. So we prophesy in part, and we know in part. All right, just like Ezra's. Verse 52. All right, so he said, but as touching thy life, I am not sent to show thee, for I do not know it, man. So even the angels only know certain things. Okay? So they couldn't tell Ezra how long he was going to live, or if he was going to live forever. None of that. That's only for the Most High to know. So let's go back down to verse 2. 2nd Ezra 5 and 2. But iniquity shall be increased above that which thou seest now. See, everything is increased. Or that thou hast heard long ago. So the iniquity, the wickedness, transgression, sin is increased upon earth way more than what Ezra's experienced on the grounds that he was walking on years ago. Now, the land that he's walking on in America, it said the land that thou now seest, the earth, is full of wickedness, all right? Even more, because Esau's ruling. So, let's get Jeremiah 50:15. All right. It says, in the land that thou seest now to have root, it means the land that thou treadest upon and seest, that you're walking on, you see. We're walking on this land and we see it. It had root, right? At their founding fathers, the mirth of the land, is now gone. It says, thou shalt see this place wasted suddenly. All right, so let's get that. Jeremiah 50:15. Jeremiah 50:15. Shout against her. Talking about what? Let's go one more verse. 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. So the Lord has built up these nations against this place. Babylon. All right. The bricks and all them. All ye that bend the bow, all the nations that have nuclear missiles, the capability, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against Yahweh. Shout against her round about, see? She have given her hand, her foundations are fallen. See, we're seeing the foundations, that's the time we're in right now. The time of the foundations of this place falling. Everything that this place was built on, even their policies are falling, right? So everything is falling in this place. Okay, the military setup, the banking, the religion, everything is falling apart. The dollar. So her foundations are fallen. So that goes with 2 Edras 5:3. And the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. See, the foundations, the roots of this place is wasted. Her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of Yahweh. Jeremiah 50:15. Take vengeance upon her, as she have done, do unto her. All right. So we're seeing that happen right now. All right. So let's keep going. So it says, let's go to Nahum chapter 2. And 10. It says Nahum 2:10, talking about Nineveh, but America is spiritually Nineveh, spiritually Babylon, and also spiritually Egypt and Assyria. It says she is empty, so this place is being emptied. It's gonna be emptied, and void and waste, and the heart melteth, man. So all their dreams and aspirations in this place, the American dream is melting away, it's failing. And the knees smite together, meaning fear. They always say all the leaders shall stand in fear. The knees smiting together. And much pain is in all loins. All right, so it's going to be destruction all over America. And the faces of them all gather blackness. Okay, so gather blackness represents fear. Being afraid. Why? Because of this right here, 2 Edras 5:3. 2, all the way to 3. But iniquity shall be increased above that which thou now seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. And the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou seize, wasted suddenly. All right. So let's go to Matthew 24:2. Matthew 24:2. 12. Let's go to 11. Matthew 24:11. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. All right, especially in the time of calamity, you're going to have a lot of false prophets raise up. Go this way, go that way. The Lord is with me, go this way, right? In the time of crisis. And because iniquity shall abound. All right, so wickedness is abounding in the earth, man. Thriving in the earth. The love of many shall wax cold, man. All right, so with that iniquity comes hate. And all these other immoral mindsets that the Lord warned us about. Envy, iniquity, sodomy, murder, jealousy, right? And that's what these people are experiencing on this earth right now. Wickedness, man. Devil worship. All right. The love of many is waxing cold, man. And that goes with this prophecy. All right, so we're seeing this place wasted suddenly. It used to be, America used to be on some, all we need is love, community, you know, this land is your land, this land is my land, especially when they started letting, after the civil rights movement. But there's still that rift between Jacob and Esau in this place. There'll never be full peace. But this place is a melting pot. All right, but now wickedness is abounding, so the love of many is waxing cold, man. That's why so much death and murder and traps out here and depopulation. Looking at people like they don't have a soul. All right, so let's go to Second Edras 6:23. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. And the earth shall stand in fear. See that? Faces shall gather blackness, knees smiting together. So they're going to what? Shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. So to escape all these things that's coming soon, those elect will see the Lord arriving, all right, with healing in his wings. And that's our goal. We pray that the Lord allows our eyes to see it, to make it through what's coming. It got to be heavy what's coming, man, because it's being built up. You can feel it. Right. Go down to 26. It says, and the men that, 2 Edras 6:26, and the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth. See, the elect that don't die in this time, and they get taken up into the chariots. They're going to see the salvation of the Lord, coming to this earth. All right, the ones that have not tasted death from their birth. Okay, so what? Reincarnation, being born again into this life, like Edras, and from that birth, not tasting death, and seeing the salvation of Yahushua, and then living for eternity. And the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning, man. So what's that? The elect going to be changed. For evil shall be put out, and the deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. All right. So the faith is going to flourish, meaning all the prophecies are going to. Right now, people can't see it, but at that moment, when all hell start breaking loose, the prophecy is going to be speaking. It's going to be clear for everybody to see. It's going to be too late. All right. So our faith is going to what? Flourish. It says, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared, man. All right? So it's going to be declared, man. It's going to be evident to see. Everything that's been prophesied Also in the book of Revelations, all the seals will be opened. All right, so now let's keep going with that in mind. With Isaiah 40. 4. All right, so second Edras 5 and 3. In the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. But if the Most High grant thee to live, all right, so if Ezra's here and he's alive to see it, thou shalt see after the third trumpet. Okay, the third trumpet represents the third angel of Revelation chapter 8. We're in the time of the third trumpet. All right. So it says what? Thou shalt see after the third trumpet. So after them, let's get to it real quick. The third trump. All right. Here we go. Right, because every time you hear about the third angel, every time you hear about the third angel, it deal with fire and the destruction. Let's read it. All right, let's read it, man. Revelation 8 and 10. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven. That's the missiles, man, ICBMs. Intercontinental ballistic missiles. This one called Wormwood. All right. Burning as it were a lamp. And that's how they look at nighttime. It looks like a lamp in the sky. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. All right. So that represents what? The third part, in this sense, would be a portion of the earth, or what you would call the area that the Lord is focused on for the wicked. Today is Babylon. So all the waters around America are going to be polluted. All right, from these wars, from these missiles. So speaking about what? The third angel. So let's get back to this, because I'm gonna bounce around to like Revelation 16 as well. Okay, so now let's read it again. Second Ezra 5 and 4. But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet. So the third angel. So after that missile, the missile start hitting this place, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day, meaning it's going to be clear to you. All right. So meaning the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is going to be clear to see. And it's going to be even clearer for the elect. All right, so let's get that real quick, the proof of that. Let's get Isaiah 4. That's like in 40 and 4. Isaiah 40 and 4. Every valley shall be exalted, meaning where the Israelites are at, they're going to be exalted from wherever they're scattered. And every mountain and hill shall be made low. So all these governments and nations, they're going to be brought low, but we're going to be uplifted, especially with what's under our feet, which is what? The sun and the moon, representing the knowledge and the wisdom. The crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places made plain. All right, so the Lord's going to turn us from being wicked, turn us into being righteous. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, see, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of Yahweh have spoken it. All right? So that means all day and night it's going to rain, shine the Lord's wisdom. Right now, it's hard to see, people can't see it, but the sun is shining upon the elect. But it says what? Let's go back to it. 2 Edras 5 and 4. But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see. See, that's the focus. To be able to see clearly, see it with your own eyes. After the third trumpet, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day, meaning everything's going to be clearer to us. All right, let's get that real quick. I'm going to go to Habakkuk. Let's go to Habakkuk 2 and 1. No, 2 and 3. No, verse 2. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon table. See, plain to see. The elect see it already. But soon the whole world will see it, day and night. Because everything will be moving fast. That he may run that readeth it. For the vision, the token, the prophecy, is yet for an appointed time. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. See? That's what it means by the sun shall shine 3 times in the day and the moon 3 times in the night. That represents the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All right? So that, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry, right? So the truth, as I just read, what was that scripture I was reading a minute ago? Might be Jeremiah, let me see. Let me get this real quick. Right, see? 2 Edras 6 and 27, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. See, all the lies are going to be quenched, man. People like Nate, going to awake to everlasting contempt, but the elect are going to wake up to life and realize that they were correct. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched, man. All the lies that people are spewing, it's going to be quenched, man. Why? Because everything we said was going to happen is going to be happening as we see it today. But people still like, no, yeah, what? Wait till the middle or end of this year. As for faith, it shall flourish. See? It's going to be flourishing in that day. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. All right, so they all shall see it together. Everybody gonna see it. Okay, so it's good. Sirach. Right, so no, I'm not gonna get Sirach. That's probably go over some people's head. Let's get 2 Edras chapter 7, 34. All right, so 2 Edras 7 and 34. But judgment only shall remain. Okay. Let's go 33. And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment. It's, so, man. So when all hell breaking loose, Yahweh is going to appear upon that seat of judgment. And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment, and mercy and misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end. But see, I mean, the elect of Israel are going to be delivered from this bondage. But judgment only shall remain, Truth shall stand. See that? Just like the sun and the moon. And faith shall wax strong. And the work shall follow. And the reward shall be showed. And the good deeds shall be a force. And wicked deeds shall bear no rule. All right, so 2nd Edras 5 and 4. But if the Most High grant thee, Edras, to live, thou shalt see after the third trump or angel that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night. And we know that's not talking about the missiles, because the missiles are going to block the sunlight and the moon. So this is talking about the wisdom and us being able to see the prophecies clearly. All right. And again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. Okay. Verse 5. And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled. All right, so, and the blood shall drop out of wood is talking about this picture right here. It's going to melt people into the wood and into the cracks and into the earth. All right, let's get the proof on that. It said the blood shall drop out of wood. That's a parable. Okay. That's a parable. The blood dropping out of the wood. Let's get to Isaiah 34. And 4. All right, Isaiah 34 and 4. It says here, Isaiah 34 and 4, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved. All right, that's talking about that, how the elements are going to melt. And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off of the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. All right, so all the planes, all the satellites, the drones, whatever's in the sky in that time is going to be destroyed from that mushroom cloud. And then anything that heat touches is going to melt it. All right? And any flesh. It says, verse 5. So when it said the elements shall melt, this is what it's talking about. All right? For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, meaning the Lord's missile is going to fly in the sky. All right, the sky represents the Shemayim, the waters, so it means it's going to be bathed in it, moving in it. All right, so the missiles, they're being created and they're going to be shot off. That's what the Lord's saying. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. What goes up must come down. So today, America is modern day Idumea. All right, and being ruled by the Idumeans and the people of my curse to judgment. So also 2/3 in these heathens. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. See? So you said, let's get that. Psalm 7 and 10, or 11. Yahweh judgeth the righteous. Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He have bent his bow and made it ready. See that? So the Lord is not going to turn back from his plans. He said he will whet his sword, man. So his sword is furbished and it's made, it's glistening, but then next thing you know, it's covered in blood. That means it has done what it was made to do, to destroy. He have also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutor. Okay, so these missiles are ordained to destroy Idumea, America. And what Russia call them, Satan II missiles and all that. All right, where were we? Isaiah 34. That's right. So the Lord has an elect to be delivered, and he has an elect to be destroyed. All right, so he said the blood shall drop out of the wood, man. He's going to melt them into the ground. And that's military talk. That's what the scriptures say. The Lord is a man of war. All right. The Russians say that. They say you will become part of the soil. Isaiah 34:5. For my sword, see, if he turn not, he will wet his sword with what? Blood. Shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, meaning it's going to increase even more blood and destruction. And with the blood of lambs and goats, meaning their officers, their leaders, their politicians. With the fat of the kidneys of rams, their presidents that are here. All right, their judges, their priests, their bankers. For Yahweh, so that's what it represents, where it says the fat of kidneys, the fat representing the blood of these people. For Yahweh had the sacrifice in Basra, see, in Idumea. And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, talking about here. And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls. So if you look at the bullocks, that means their chief leaders, their presidents, all of that going to fall right here in America. And their land shall be soaked with blood. So this land is going to be soaked with blood and nuclear waste. All right? And their dust shall be made fat with fatness, meaning the dust is going to be turned into that blood. So where it says the blood shall drop out of the wood, you want to put Isaiah 34 with it, because it gets detailed of how the Lord is going to splatter blood everywhere with the missiles. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, see, meaning melted into that lava pit. And the land thereof shall become burning pitch. And it shall not be quenched day nor night. The smoke thereof shall go up forever, meaning for a long time, and high into the sky. For generation, from generation to generation, it shall lie waste. Now let's get to the point. Where was I at? Okay, I'm gonna get this. Right. All right, so Revelations 14:20. And the winepress was trodden without the city, meaning 2/3, and these heathens are going to be trodden underfoot. And the blood came out of the winepress. All right, this is that winepress that you see. Even unto the horse's bridle, so all the way up to a horse's neck. That's how much blood it would be if you was to measure it on this earth. By the space of 1,600 furlongs, almost as long as a football field. All right, so it's going to be a lot of the scriptures say the slain of the Lord shall be many. So these missiles are going to mutilate these people. Let's get that. All right, this is from Hiroshima and Nagasaki when they dropped those missiles. It says Onagi Akira, 15 years old in August 1945. Just an image of a 15-year-old. You see everything was melted, even his skin. A man's skin peeling from his hands, desperately looking for his child. Neither the man nor his child survived. All right? So it's going to be melting people, man. and the uranium and all that shit they have now, plutonium, is way more potent than what they were using years ago during 1945. This is Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I stir up the Medes, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows, talking about Russia, their bows, their missiles, also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. So the ones that's controlling these missiles being shot off, they're going to be aiming them right at community areas, anywhere, like they're doing, like Israel's doing to Hamas or Gaza, you know, the Palestinians. So it's going to be like that here. They're not going to spare anybody. They're going to be dropping missiles all over the place. Especially targets like military or missile silos here in America. If people are in those areas, they're going to get blown up, according to the scriptures. They're not going to spare children or people. They don't care. They're not going to care in that day. All right, but they're going to dash everybody to pieces, the missiles. You know? So that's what it means where it says, 2 Edras 5 and 5, and the blood shall drop out of the wood, all right, and the stone shall give his voice. So let's get that real quick. The stone shall give his voice. It's talking about all the infrastructure falling apart and breaking up, and like an earthquake, you know. Let me go up right here. Isaiah 13 and 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, and the wrath of Yahweh of hosts, in the wrath of the Most High, and in the day of his fierce anger. So the whole earth going to be shaken from the missiles and from the Lord's presence. It's going to shake the like an earthquake. What does it do? You hear the building screeching and falling apart, exploding, blowing up. That's what it means by the stones shall give their voice. All right, let's get that Isaiah 2 and 19. All right, so 2 and 19. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks, see, and into the caves of the earth, for the fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. All right, so the Lord's going to shake terribly the earth. And they shall go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops. Verse 20. And in that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship. So people got all these idols specifically made for themselves. But they're going to cast it away wherever they're hiding at, into the darkness. They're going to be hiding where moles are at. They're going to be hiding where bats are at, in the caves. And they're going to cast it away like it's nothing. To the moles and to the bats. And to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks for the fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. All right, so the stones shall give their voice, meaning what? All the infrastructure going to be falling apart, crumbling. From these missiles hitting. All right, let's go to Zechariah 14. Let me see if this is something. All right, yeah, man. Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Yerushalayim, or that have denied the truth. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, man. Imagine that flesh is consuming away from that blast and that heat. It's going to melt them into the wood, you know. And people gonna be seeing and hearing the infrastructure breaking and falling apart. All right, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. What was that right here? See that? And their eyes shall consume away in their holes. The first thing that can go with that type of heat on the body is the organs. That's the first thing that's gonna melt, the tongue and the eyes. And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. See that? All that talking these people is doing. The Lord gonna make them pay for that. Even destroy the tongue, melt it in their damn mouth. All right. So this is the plague that the Lord has set up to destroy these people with. Is to melt them. Melt them into the earth, melt them into the wood, and into the walls and the shit. All right, let's get Zephaniah 1:14. All right, so actually I want to get this real quick. That's right. This is Ezekiel 22, let's go from 19. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh the power, because ye are all become dross, behold, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem. So, all right, 2/3. As they gather silver. So today, people are being gathered into America, all right? So the migrants that's coming over here, they either coming here to get destroyed in the destruction, or they're going to head back to their land real soon. Or they coming here to get delivered in salvation. I had Ezekiel up here, I think. Yeah, Ezekiel 22 and 19. All right. Yep. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh the power, behold, because ye are all become dross, behold, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin. And these are mostly alloys which melt under high pressure, into the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, to melt it. So will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. Yea, I will gather you and blow upon you in the fire of my wrath, and ye shall be melted in the midst thereof. As silver is melted in the midst of the furnace, so shall ye be melted in the midst thereof, of the Lord's wrath. And ye shall know that I, Yahweh, have poured out my fury upon you. So the Lord going to make sure they know it in that day. That they didn't listen, and it's going to be a process. They, tongues consuming away in their face. They're going to look at each other, So, that's what it means where it says the blood shall drop out of the wood. You're going to melt them into the wood. All right, so you're going to leave them there to melt. Let's get Zephaniah 1:14. It says, Zephaniah 1:14, the great day of Yahweh, of his wrath, of Yahweh is near, and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of Yahweh. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers, And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung, man. So the blood shall drop out of the wood. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in this land. Sheesh, man. All right, so that's the speedy riddance right there. All right, so go to Daniel 12:1. Well, actually, let's go to 2nd Edras 5:5 again. And the blood shall drop out of the wood. See, that should make more sense now. The Lord gonna melt these people into the wood, and the stone shall give his voice. So that's what the infrastructure and everything falling apart and crumbling. All right, turn this place into ashes and dust, but it's gonna be mingled with blood and fire. All right, the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled. All right, so everybody gonna be troubled from what's coming. All right, so this is what the time of Jacob's trouble. Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince. So Michael the archangel, under Yahushua, is going to stand up after the orders of Yahweh, Psalms 91, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble. See, the people shall be troubled, such as never was since there was a nation. All right, they ain't never had times like this. It's going to be World War III and nukes and, chariots delivering us. Even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. All right. So that's going to be the same time of our deliverance when the people, when we're troubled. All right. 2 Peter 3:10. It says, but the day of the Lord Yahweh will come as a thief in the night. So he'll catch everybody off guard. In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. That's that noise that it said, with the stones shall give a voice. All right, so this rulership is going to pass away. That's what it means by the heaven. The rulership and glory of America is going to pass away with a great noise. All right, in this place Idumea. And the element, that's that boom from the missiles. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up. So the elements in the sky all the way down to the earth, and everything that's created in America is going to be burned up. That's what it means right there. All right. So that's good. What you call it? Mushroom cloud. Okay. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, meaning all the infrastructure, everything you see today in this place, what manner of person are you to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of our Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements, see the elements upon the earth and in the sky too, but mainly the elements upon this earth in this place America, they shall melt with fervent heat. It says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. So we know that this is not going to be the end of the world, but the end of Esau's world, end of their rulership. So their rulership is going to pass away with this destruction that's coming. All right. So it said the elements shall melt with fervent heat. It's talking about from that mushroom cloud, and anything in the vicinity is going to be melted with fervent heat, man. All right. Just like you see on the screen. So, I got a bunch of scriptures lined up, but how much time I got? I might do another follow-up on this. All right, so the blood shall drop out of the wood, 2nd Edras 5:5, and blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled. All right. So once all this happens, that third trump, or that third angel sounds, the people shall be troubled from what? The mushroom clouds. Okay, so I'm going to end it there as an introduction to this verse. And Yahweh Ratazah, I'm going to have to go into it again because I got a bunch of precepts lined up and finish out probably a few more verses in this chapter. All right, so with that, I'm going to end it there and say, Shalom. Hope you're edified, and to the next video.